Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, Internet folks. It's me, all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, time is clicking by. It's just been a busy week for me. I just had a couple of interviews this weekend. Just did a lovely live stream with my dear friends, Eunice Martinez Kitchen and Janine Lakowski. We talked about the recent um, uh, Steve Carr show, which was a great show. Shout out to them. And this lady here, she was there. She was there. She was hanging out with my dear friends, and and just she was getting ready for a show that she did about a couple of weeks ago. Was the Atlantic Coast Pro. We have here the lovely IFBB Pro, Miss Nancy Brigham, and Miss Brigham has been in the game for quite a long time. I mean, she actually started out in women's bodybuilding first, and then later she took a step back for a bit, came back, and now she's in women's physique. She just did the Atlantic Coast, where she competed in women's 55 plus, right?
Yes, and I also did the World Championships. I got pro cards in both bodybuilding and women's physique. So when I was at the Gary Udit show, which I really like a lot for the World Championships, I got second in the women's bodybuilding and fourth in the women's physique. I just started doing physique in 2021. I had mainly done bodybuilding up to that point, and then took a hiatus when I ruptured 2 quad tendons off my right leg at the same time. That was a horrific recovery. So I took a few years off, rehabbed, and then through the encouragement of my teammate Patty Corbett, she's like, Nancy, you still look great. You should go back on stage. So I took her up on it. During COVID, I trained in a small garage, my friend's garage. I also was diagnosed with breast cancer at that time. So I was going through surgery for removal of the breast cancer, lymph nodes, took out part of my pectorals, and then had radiation for 8 weeks. And I finished up my radiation about 6 weeks before I stepped on stage and got both of my pro cards. So that was quite a year. Yeah.
Wow, you seem like you went through hell and back. I mean, still standing.
Yeah.
But
I started in 2022. So I took a few years off and came back in, rehabbed, and stepped back on stage this year and did 2 shows. So
yeah, I know. Yeah. I know, lady. She just got a pro card. Her name is Wendy Heaslip, and she was also a cancer survivor. A couple of ladies I've also interviewed who survived it. I know a dear friend of mine, Rondalee Charisma. She had cancer. She passed away about almost 5 years ago. She was in bodybuilding for quite a long time. But the question is, what got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity?
Thanks for asking that question. It's kind of an interesting story. My life is. I started into sports before Title IX was even into effect, and I happened to live in Iowa, which had women's basketball. It was toned down where you couldn't dribble more than 2 bounces and had to pass the ball. It's more of a passing game. But they had AAU athletics for girls, and I loved track. I had 3 brothers I had to outrun and 2 sisters, so come from a big family. And I got into track and field and actually joined the boys track and field team as a freshman when we moved to a small town in Illinois. And boy, that sent up a lot of parents because I could beat the boys, and they didn't like that. So they told me I couldn't go to the meets, but I could practice with them. Well, they thought I'd quit. I didn't quit. I went ahead and practiced with the boys, and in the summer I would catch some of the summer track meets and things like that. But they had no organized school sports or anything like that. So after they found out that I was going to still practice, then they came up with this BS of, well, you have to have a female supervisor in the stands. Well, track and field, you're not in locker rooms. You don't have to be in locker rooms. You go to the meet, you get out, they have outdoor toilets, men and women. So there's really not a problem. But I had a gym teacher that volunteered to sit out in that stand while I just practiced with those boys all season long. I found out years later that she almost got fired for doing that. So it was quite a big ordeal what I did and what she did for me. And so the very next year they had Title IX go in, and they had all the sports in our school, thank God. And I ended up getting a track and field scholarship to Eastern Illinois University for my undergrad, where I was a sprinter and a jumper. And while I was on the team, we would use the weight room for injury prevention and power and strength and things like that. Well, after college, I went on to teach for a few years, and then I got my master's degree starting at the University of Oregon, where I joined the women's cycling team, road racing team, where I still have my friend of 40 years, Cinda Maxon, we're still friends. And I competed, and so did she, and we went to the Olympic qualifying trials. So I got a chance to step onto a bigger platform, which was fun. And during the summers, I played pro fast pitch softball. So I've been sprinkled through a lot of different sports. How I ended up in the weight room was when I got done with my sports, I was like, well, what's next? So I had gone to the Gay Games in New York in 1994 to play badminton. It was a blast. We just wanted to go party and have fun. And I sat in on the women's weigh-in for bodybuilding. And I thought, I could do that. So 4 years later, I went to Amsterdam in 1998 and competed in my first international show and got third, a bronze medal over there. And then I repeated and went back for the games in Montreal, called them the World Out Games, where I won the open in my age division in women's bodybuilding. And then it started taking off from there. I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area and met a very nice man who's passed away. His name's Gino Johnson. He was 20 years my senior. And he and I paired up and did pairs competitions for NPC up in Portland. I really wish they had that still, because I really enjoy the choreography of mixed pairs up on stage with bodybuilding. It's such a true art form. I wish they would bring that back. So that was super fun. And I just kind of took off from there. I started training with Ray Artie in San Jose. I wanted to step it up and go to the USA. So I hired Ray Artie, trained with him for several years. And then I trained with Chris Cormier a couple of years and went up to Venice Beach, and also trained with Robbie Robinson. What an experience being with those legends and in that gym, and just the positivity and the methodology behind weight training, because I was primarily trained by a power lifter. And once I got to Venice Beach and working with those folks, I really learned the mind-body connection of the mind muscle and the cadence of the lift and the negative, and getting, constant tension and the intensity, and really learning about the sport. And I just kept progressing as I've gone along. I kept returning to Masters Nationals. I really enjoyed Gary Udich's show out there. And then after my quad tendon incident, I didn't know if I could really rehab my right leg to look symmetrical with my left, because I was leg pressing about 600 pounds. And my inside VMO popped off. And I tried to re-rack the weight, and then the other one popped off, and the whole thing just came down on me. PTSD out the door, let me tell you. And thank God, my training partner and some other guys were able to pull that off of me. But that was a really arduous rehab with the tendons. It's not just a muscle tear. It's easier to break a bone. That can heal in 6 weeks. But this took me, I had a leg brace on from hip to ankle, couldn't drive for 3 or 4 months, had to sleep in that thing. Very humbling. But I learned a lot about that, and I grew through that, and I continued to stick with the sport and come back and refine myself. And I'm really glad I stepped back on stage this year.
That's pretty good. You went through a lot. I mean, between what was going on when you were a kid, because that teacher, don't make no excuse. This is her time. She's volunteering. She's not getting paid. That's volunteering. Right. That's the thing is, people want to throw obstacles when, especially you're the first to do something, especially that's not, as you know, just like in any sport. Like I do content also, women mixed martial arts and MMA.
Oh wow!
And those women, they also get a lot of prejudice against them, because this sport is a extreme sport. It's very extreme sport, and to be a woman to do bodybuilding is also extreme, and especially coming from your background and stuff you've been through. And also the story which you're dealing with cancer. I mean, again, that's tough. Especially especially as a woman, have to be an athlete and dealing with a disease that can probably take your life.
Yeah. I'm coming up on my 5 years in remission right now, so I can go off. I'm on oral chemo called Metropol. I know, right? I've just been raising myself through the ashes left and right, I'm telling you. And then I had my shoulder replaced in 2022. And they did a great job. I mean, you can hardly even tell. They went into the muscle, but they didn't cut through it, which I'm really happy about. So this was a tough one to get through too, just with the range of motion and everything, and getting my symmetry back with this as well. But I got to say, bodybuilding has taught me how to live my life, one step, one rep, one breath at a time. And when I've been in such difficult situations with the cancer and, just other things that life throws your way, the gym has been my sanctuary. That is my happy place. That's where I can go and be myself and find myself and inspire other people. I really enjoy inspiring other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know quite a few people, especially when the pandemic hit. The gym they didn't have the gym anymore. It's like they lost a piece of themselves because that was a sanctuary. There was a solitude. That was their church. That was someplace they go.
It is church. It is.
You had to learn to adapt. We have here, shout out to my man Money J coming through. Appreciate you, brother, coming through. He says, shout out to my man. He says, good evening. Thank you, brother. Also, he says, cool army vest. You got and G.I. Jane energy. Love it. The real American hero.
I love it.
Yeah, I used to love watching that.
G.I. Jane. My middle name's Jane. I'm gonna own that one. Thank you.
Yeah. Just put it on. You said put it on your like G.I. Jane.
No, G.I. Jane. I thought I would honor the military today since they've been through just havoc.
Yeah, I like I said, I have my oldest niece, one of my younger nephews served in the Army. I've had family friends that serve. I was thinking about serving when I was younger, but then I got a job, and then sometimes life happens. We get here. This is from Get Paid 7. Shout out to him. He says this is great stuff. I follow you on IG. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Send me a little message, and I'll write back to you again.
Also, we got one more for my man Money J. He was here the other week while I was doing some interview. Says you look awesome in that vest, Nancy. Well,
thank you.
Nancy, the thing is, these guys here, they love y'all buff ladies. I hate to let my crime, Miss Nancy. I know it's my crime. I am a muscle person. I just find y'all ladies very intoxicating something about y'all.
I love those persons. It's awesome.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing about this sport. You find something in it that really inspires you, especially what you went through, especially competing. I remember back in the day, there was I think something popular. Mixed pairs was very popular. There was like Diane Dennison and her.
I love her posing.
Yeah, then there was Tony Pearson and used to with Laura Creval and quite a few other ladies. I think in some organizations they still do it, but not in UPC IFBB.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
it would be. It's going to be interesting to see how the sport continues to morph because they keep adding numerous divisions. I remember when it was just us women and men, and then I think it was the fitness routines. Those girls are amazing. The acrobats and things that they do and the injuries that they put up with is just incredible. And then I think they started adding the figure after that, and then the women's physique, and things started building from there. And then the dynamics of the show changed, where we used to have longer time on the stage. Depends on the show and how many athletes there are, whether we get 30 seconds for our free posing or 45 seconds or 60 seconds or 2 minutes with our music routine. It varies from contest to contest. But I like it when we have more time on stage because we spent so much money and time in the gym. And, 30 seconds just goes like that. It's hard to really appreciate a physique in 30 seconds. But I get it because they have thousands of contestants, and they've now spread these shows over, a few days. So you have to kind of pick and choose what divisions you want to go watch if you're a spectator, and kind of time that out. And you can sit through some very long venues as well.
Yeah, I know. I think usually some shows like I know when I went to Tampa, it was a 3-day show because they did the Masters first that Thursday evening because Eunice, she was competing there as a supporter. Then they did the women's physique and women's bodybuilding that Friday. I had to leave that Saturday because my training was going to leave that afternoon. So they did figure and men's open that next day. And I think at the Atlantic Coast also, I think it's also a 2-day show.
Yes. Yeah, they had the MPC, the amateurs on Saturday. And then they had us pros on Sunday, which is nice. I like it, kind of mellows it out. I love being a pro. It's less hectic backstage. It has been for me. And a little more calmer, which is nice. So, but it was over a 2-day period. That was a nice show. They had a really great turnout, really good muscle on stage for the men and women.
Yeah, and you talk about, if you were talking people you competed with, like Patty Corbett, she's still competing, and amazing lady. Can you believe she's 70 and still holding her own?
I turn 69 next month, so I'm following right in her heels. And Patty, I'm going to be going up over Christmas, and we're going to train. We trained together this summer too while she was getting ready for the Master Olympia. And we have been just sisters of iron, along with Robin Gizzi is another one of our training partners. Robin hasn't been on stage for a few years. I think she's had some problems with her shoulder. But I called us the 3 musculo-tears from muscle gals. And we had just the best time training down in San Jose together. And Patty's been so inspirational, and we keep each other going. She's been just an awesome teammate.
Yeah, I know she just did the Masters Olympia in Japan this summer. I mean, it was a pretty good show. I hope that they might bring it to the States, because
me too.
Yeah, because there's more. This wrap up the show this weekend was a Masters in Portugal. Shout out to Virginia Sanchez. She won the women's bodybuilding division. Exactly. And I think because there's more shows here, because like with both the like a lot of Tim Gardner shows, he does Masters. Gary does Masters.
Yes.
A couple others does Masters. The Rising Phoenix also. They don't have Masters for women's bodybuilding, but now with the change of format from being the Women's World Championship to just being a regular qualification, they should add it maybe next year.
Absolutely. I'm hoping they add some more and divisions, not just 40 and over, because those of us in our 60s are still competing against those in their 20s. It's nice to have, an even playing field for us. So I'm hoping that we can get more and more participants in the sport and interest going, so that we can keep that generated, keep it going.
Anyway, back to the stuff. You started in the early 90s. I think it's kind of like I would call it the silver age of bodybuilding. You had people like Chris Cormier. I mean, guys like that, Flex Wheeler. You had people like, just a little bit before, right after, I think Linda retired, you had Kim Zabeski, you had Vicky Gates, have a lady I know, quite a few. What was that experience like for you when you first started competing?
Oh my gosh. I remember watching videos of Diane Dennison. I really liked her style and posing. We have Corey Everson, Bev Francis, the earlier pioneers of the sport that kind of really broke it open for us. Originally, I started watching the men first. I always enjoyed watching Chris Cormier. As just a thrill to work out with Chris and his calmness. He's very calm, which is nice. Some coaches aren't that calm. I've had a few. But they were so inspirational, and I really like the look with the tapered waistline without it's the real X figure of the earlier bodybuilders, both men and women, with that tapered waistline is, I just think, the most sexy. And I think that look is one of my favorite looks versus the big blocky and, the 6-pack rolling around. But that tight waistline with the nice flare through the quads and the width of the shoulders and that look of strength and power and grace is just such a nice overall package that I enjoy from that particular era.
Yeah, like like guys like Lee Priest, and also you can't forget one guy who when I was in Tampa, this gentleman I got to meet. And I remember, like I said, I've been following Bobby for a long time myself, back to the Arnold Schwarzenegger age, to Frank Colombo and them. I ran into, this is a picture I pull up here. I ran into Kevin Lavrone. He was in Tampa. And I actually shook his hand and said, Mr. Lavrone, you should have run at least a couple Mr. Olympias during your time. Because he was kind of like, I kind of call him, he was a pretty wiki of men's bodybuilding.
He was. Great look on Kevin. And Paul Dillett, I liked his look too. Franco Colombo, Ed Corney was a good friend of mine up in the Bay Area. I'd run into him all the time at the shows. Very encouraging. I think he's the first one that brought music to posing. I think it was Ed that added that, the choreography with the music, which is what really attracted me to bodybuilding, was the art form of it. The competition, I'm up there against myself. I enjoy winning, but it's not like me against the others. It's me trying to bring in my better package every time I step on stage. And I think this year, my coach and I really felt like I did that. Even at my age, you can still keep improving if you just stick to it. If you stay committed, it's a brick by brick type of sport. You're not going to get instant results. If you want that, you're in the wrong sport. You're going to frustrate the hell out of yourself. And it's a lot about the food. You gotta wrap your head around the food, around not having a social life when you're in contest prep, getting up early, feeling tired and shitty a lot of the times. But you see that day-to-day change in yourself that is so inspiring and so encouraging for yourself. And it promotes such a sense of self-esteem that that's where I'm headed in helping to encourage other young girls and women into getting into just lifting, not necessarily for competing, but just getting into the gym and just starting exercise programs and just finding their sense of self through movement and their sense of self-confidence and self-esteem. I did a community project in 2006 through Landmark Education, which is a curriculum for life. And I picked a community project to work on in the Bay Area, actually in the Castro, at Gold's Gym, which is predominantly gay male men that work out in there. And I had one of the directors of the fitness of the gym was a woman that worked out at my gym down in the peninsula. And she was telling me one day, we just have a hell of a time getting the women with memberships in there. We just can't get it going. I said, I've got a community project that I want to do. And I've got an idea. So I created a month-long Saturday and Sunday for 2 hours. It was free. They could bring a friend, the members of the gym, the women, and come in, and I called it Women on Weights, or WOW, W-O-W. And we went in and we taught them how to stretch, how to warm up, how to use the weights, how to get set up with the weights. We got them into getting partners to go in the gym, and we tripled the membership of the women in the gym at Castro, and it just took off. It was super fun. It was just simply educating the girls how to go in, not feel intimidated. And the gay guys are just super nice. Nobody was going to give them shit. They actually were really encouraging them and very helpful in the gym. So I'm going to continue that as I work through the sport, inspiring others and just promoting programs for underprivileged girls and women who have been in domestic abusive relationships as well. I'm an advocate for women against domestic abuse, in particular narcissistic personality disorder, which I've dealt with in a previous toxic relationship, to help others find their light and crawl out of the darkness of those abusive relationships as well. So the bodybuilding has just continued to inspire me to find my strength and help others find theirs too.
Yeah, I know. And think also a bunch of gay dudes, some ladies don't worry about getting, hey, you need help with that weight, you need a spotter.
They're super nice. And I
don't have to worry about that.
I'm like, you guys behave.
Yeah, and that's good, because I think with most average day woman, they're afraid that if I lift a few weights, I'm gonna get big and huge. I'm gonna look like She-Hulk. But it's more than that. Like, one thing is, it's about being consistent, follow the diet. I know some competitors tell me that 67% of bodybuilding is in the kitchen. What you find prepared. We have a comment. Shout out to my man here, KL, the one coming through. He says, "What's going on? Not much, brother. What's going on with you?" Shout out to my man here. My man Emmanuel says, "Hey, Miss Brigham, nice to see you." Also, shout out to my man, Money J, saying 70 years old. That's crazy. Well, yeah,
almost 70. Getting there.
Well, I think you talk about Patty, but there's some women. A while back, I interviewed a lady. Her name is Rebecca Woody. She's 74. Okay. She got a pro card at 74.
Oh, I think I've seen her. Yeah.
Yeah, and now she's 76. Yeah, I mean, bodybuilding. I learned from this from a lot of competitors that it may not stop for the time, but it can halt it a little bit. I've seen ladies who got into sport when they're in their 50s and found their passion for it. Maybe some ladies who walked away from it. I think you competed. We competed at I think it was the Masters Nationals. You competed with Gina Hall, and I remember her from back in the day. And she got a pro card that year because I was researching a little bit. Because one of my things I often say like this: my master Raza Gula Demon Head taught me, beware of surroundings all time, young Master Wayne. Never give sure footing for a killing blow. And I know you guys hate when I do these, but that's my skill, man. I built this shit, man. Me, five brick. Yeah. So again, but yeah, I think everybody finds something about health and fitness that aspires them. Like I've talked to ladies who deal with either issues with obesity, having kids, and then their bodies trying to get their body back in shape, or like I said again, domestic violence, being in a relationship, and it helps them strengthen themselves.
Oh my God!
And also, just like I said, when I was younger, I came in a big family. I had 3 older sisters, an older brother, my niece and nephews. We grew up together, and we used to. My older brother used to play football here in hometown.
He comes from my family too.
Yeah, I used to lift weights. We used to have cinder blocks, and then he got into high school, he started lifting heavy weights, and I used to do it too myself. It's just something to feel good of it. I need to get back. Yeah, I need to get back to. I was doing it for a good while, but then I had an incident a while back because I have an issue also. I had a heart attack like about
oh my gosh
11 years ago. I have a pacemaker.
Okay.
And and that I did was take care of myself real good, but then I was taking care of my mom also. She was sick, and when she passed, I was almost 500 pounds because.
Wow.
If you ever know anybody, a family member's been sick, especially a parent, it can be a lot of stress, responsibilities.
Absolutely.
And food can be a comfort when you need it. And then when I make decisions, you get into better shape. I was doing pretty good for a while, but right now I need to get back to it. I got knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin, but it's just.
I'm your best cheerleader, George.
I appreciate it.
I will be your best cheerleader.
I can really use some of y'all's discipline because y'all have a lot of discipline to do this.
Yeah, but it's a muscle. Discipline's a muscle too. It's something that, here's a little mantra I use. Try this. It works really great. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I give myself permission. There's days, Janine just did a post on this on her YouTube on Mind Muscle Connection and the things that we deal with, even us as pros. There's days we are so freaking tired. We don't want to go to the gym. What gets me out the door is this. And I heard this. I don't remember where I heard this from, but it's stuck with me for years. I give myself permission to put my shoes on. I cannot barter with myself. I have to go. I have to go unless I'm really sick or the weather or a tornado or something. But I have to go. I got to put my shoes on and go. And within being in the gym 15 minutes, if I'm not having fun, I give myself permission to come home. I've never come home. It's the getting your ass out the door and getting there. Because once you get there, it's like, oh, yeah. And I just fluff it up. I don't put pressure on myself to go have a knockout workout or anything like that. Oftentimes I'll come out with one of the best workouts ever because I took that pressure off of me. But I'll just tell myself, put your freaking shoes on and just go. It's like church. Not all of us like to go to church. We didn't go to church as kids or a family, but it's kind of like going to church. You don't want to go, but when you come out, you feel better. The gym's like that. You just feel better when you come out. So then you can shine your light and share your joy with the other people that are, in the gym or have questions. And I always take time for people if they have questions or they want to talk to me about something.
Yeah. We have here comment. Shout out to my man, Money J says, the older women can bring it too. Yeah. And you ladies do a fantastic job holding your own against the younger ladies. Also, he says, it's otherworldly that a woman that is 69 and 70 that have bodies like they looking like something from comic books and outdo women half their age. Much respect to you all older ladies. Also, shout out to my man KL here.
Thank you.
He appreciates it. He says, what makes you want to compete so long at your age? Don't get me wrong. You look amazing, but I'm just curious.
When I took those years off, I was doing some traveling, some personal things and a relationship, things like that. Super fun. But I feel I'm at my best when I am training for something. I don't do shows every year. I think it's important to take some time off, let your body rest, get some appreciation for what you're doing, let yourself grow, heal, and then go back in. So it's approaching this with common sense. I don't want to tear myself down, my joints. I mean, I had completely worn. I had my own business as a massage therapist. I'm retired now. I do some clients on the side and I do some real estate, and I'm getting involved in helping people in domestic abusive relationships. I'm starting to write a book that I've been wanting to write for a while, just on myself. I don't know if I'll publish it, but I just want to write my story because everybody's story matters. And so I'm going to write it for myself. Just because I have an interesting history and just the time that I grew up with women in sports. But what propels me to go back into the gym, it's who I am. It's just who I am. It's in my DNA to go in. I've worked through my most difficult times in my life, my lowest points, through my therapy in the gym. It's just been the best, hands down thing for me to do because I'm taking care of myself. And it's a great way to take care of yourself because the food I'm eating is clean. I do balance it out in the off season, and I have a personal life of cheat meals and have fun and eat things I don't eat when I'm in, contest prep. People are like, how do you do that all year round? You balance it out. I don't do it. I still eat. I still have fun. I love my pizzas right after my show. I imbibe in alcohol, not a lot, but some. But it's about balance and being able to see what really works for you, what makes you happy. And it's a great way to meet other people that are taking care of themselves too.
Yeah, it's also as a passion to do it. I mean,
Absolutely.
as we who are the fans who watch this, we see you, men and women. You train, you work hard, you want to present yourself, but also at the same time you want to enjoy life. It can
Yeah.
be tough, especially when you're on prep. And you're getting, especially we just a few days away from Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be out of town. I'm gonna visit my
Yeah.
niece.
I was going to ask you what you're doing for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, my sister, she was gonna go out of town, and my other nephew was gonna go with her, but he had to work, and I heard said, well, I'm not doing anything because most of the time we used to just when my mom was around, we used to always have Thanksgiving here at the house all
I'll
together
bet.
and stuff like that. But then after that, I used to either go to one of my sister's house or one year my sister, my oldest nephew, my other nephew, and my other sister went out of town. I was here and I had to make my own Thanksgiving. That was the first time I had a solo Thanksgiving to myself. It was kind of strange, but it's
It
all right.
is.
But yeah, that's the thing about the sport is that you have to understand all. Like if you look at the everyday person, when they think about bodybuilding, they think about two people: Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, Incredible Hulk, and
Right.
Terminator. And then the mindset of the everyday person is like, you're just popping steroids and getting like this. There's more to that.
I know. And that's the rumors and people that aren't really knowledgeable about the sport, but they have an attitude about it, or they'll hear things and whatnot. There's a lot of that speculation and things that go around in the sport. But if you have a good doctor, you get your blood work done, you take care of your health, you take your supplements, you eat your food, you get your water, you take care of the nagging injuries that start coming up as you work through your sport. Most of us are working through something for a contest that's nagging on us. I had a hamstring that just wouldn't release on me, but I worked around it and I made it work. So you have to get creative, especially as you get older, of what works and what doesn't. There's certain things I don't do with overhead pressing because I have a cobalt chrome ball and joint in my shoulder right here. So certain things I got to be really careful with just to load that joint safely, I guess is a good way. So being mindful, you get smarter as you get older, and it helps with your training and just your contest prep and your mind muscle connection as well.
Yeah. We had shout out to my young nephew Maddox. I met him in Tampa. He's my nephew from another. He says, "Hey George, nice to meet you, Nancy. What did I miss? Not much, brother. You just got in. You can if you miss it, you can watch it on the replay.
What do you want to know?
Well, he can watch on the replay. We're not gonna go over it again. If you miss it, you miss it. So also we got here shots from Emmanuel. He has a question. It says, question for Nancy: does favoritism exist between female competitors in the sport? Will some female competitors get more opportunities than others due to the certain reasons that younger ones, especially?
So
What you,
are they asking about older favoritism towards older athletes versus younger athletes?
yeah, that's pretty much. I think that's
Okay.
it.
Well, the older athletes have been around a lot longer, so our name and reputation has clout oftentimes when we've gone to different shows. We might have done those shows before where the new person, it's their first time in there. So our exposure to the judges is already right there. I mean, they haven't been seen and we have. So I don't know if I'd use the word favoritism. There can be politics in sports. It's just like ice skating, and the judging is subjective, and you're going to have discrepancies and things like that. The men's, women's, it's everywhere. But my attitude on this is, you know what? You can't change what you can't change, and you can't control what you can't control. The only thing you can do is control yourself. And so I don't worry about those things. I'm usually at the shows making friends of all ages, backstage. I love being at the shows and just meeting new people and even the judges, and then getting the feedback from the judges. There can be favoritism. I don't think it sways more towards the younger generation. It can go both ways, depending on the experience of the athlete and their exposure and the contest.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like anybody, you have certain people that they like, I think one thing, the judges, they have a lot of control when it comes to how some people place this. They usually have some favorite competitors. Right now, if you pay attention, I don't focus too much on it, but it is something because as a content maker right now, you have a little tit for tat between the current Miss Olympia Physique champion and the last Miss Olympia champion. Like I said again, not a big fan of either one of them. I respect what they bring to the sport, but sometimes some people just, we got here. Shout to my man Alex. He says this. He says, "I agree with that, Nancy. Thank you, brother." Okay. Yeah. Also, my man here, he has a compliment to you. He says, "Nice." Yeah, there you go, guys. You got a little flex. He says, "You got nice. You got a little flex, guys." So
those are one of my favorite body parts too. My arms and my back.
Yeah, because the guy would be like, "Say, well, you guys go." I'm not going to ask them flex. If they flex voluntarily, I appreciate that. But yeah, there you go. Oh, here my man KL. You got him beside you. He says this. My man KL says, "I wouldn't mind seeing you flex for a 69, 70-year-old."
I know, right?
These guys get excited. These guys get excited, Nancy, because they love them. A lot of these guys just love you, ladies. So, folks, while we're getting Nancy here, we'll do this. We're going to jump into our social media for a bit, and you want to follow Nancy. A links in the description of this live stream. You can check her out. You can follow. You want to see more flexing? You can go see it on her IG. But guys, there's no offense to you, Miss Nancy. I do this because it's a disclaimer, because this guy's out there, and you guys know how you behave. Guys, be respectful. This is a lady. No D pics. None. She's not into that. Don't send that. Stop it. Right. You sick freaks. That's because guys, behave yourself. Come on, you get more if you just be nice. So we're gonna jump into her IG for a bit.
Yeah, there we go.
As you know, she competed just about a couple of weeks ago.
It was a week ago.
A week ago.
Yeah, it was on the 16th of November. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you believe it's been there? Time is flying. And this was her from the look amazing. What was that? What was the feeling that show, you being there, and because I saw.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, it was fun. I had the first show on August 31st, so I had to die another 10 weeks, which is a little on the brutal side there because I had started back in February, but all good. I stuck in there, and I'm glad I did because I got back out on stage again, and I felt a little rusty at the Worlds because I hadn't been on stage in almost 4 years. But once you've been up there almost 28 years, it hasn't changed much. But it was a fabulous feeling. Carissa came. She did our suits. You see her in the picture right there. And she brought us flowers, which was awesome. David was there from FBB Forum. We got a chance to chat with him. I met a whole bunch of new other contestants. There's Chelsea. Chelsea's a good friend of mine when I lived in Vegas. There's Eunice, David, and Janine and I when we went out down on the strip, and diet photos right there. It was super fun. I hadn't ever competed in Florida nor done a Tim Gardner show. So Patty had always told me she really liked those shows. So I thought, well, I'm going to go. So I did. And I had a good friend who lives in Florida who came to watch me compete too. So it was nice to have my brother's down on the left here at the bar. If you scroll down over to the left right there. Yeah, that's my brother, John. And he drove all the way from Indiana, Valparaiso, Indiana, 8 hours to watch me compete.
Wow, that's a long drive.
It was
a long drive, huh?
Yeah, that's my brother. I love my brother. I've lost 2 brothers to cancer, and my
Oh,
parents are gone. So there's only half of us left now. So,
I
but
can feel you because my mother, she had a childbirth she lost. My older brother James, he died from heart issues. I
oh
lost my
boy,
sister Mary. She had a
oh
stroke a few years before that, and then she had complications because of stroke.
oh
And
my
she,
gosh,
and then after that, my mom passed. And there's this really kind
oh
of
yeah,
my other 2 older sisters, my younger brother. I have a half brother and a half sister. I'm not as close with her because that was my father's daughter. My half brother is my oldest half brother. He's our older brother. He's my
okay,
father's son. But here we got the interview that David did with y'all. So I'm gonna play it
oh
for
yeah,
y'all.
with
You want to
Lynn,
listen?
yeah, and Lynn,
IFBB Forum, and I'm really pleased to see the beautiful Nancy Brigham and Lynn Richardson, who just got off stage at the Atlantic Coast prejudging. And yeah, and you mentioned you're the oldest ladies up on stage.
I think so. We're the grandmasters.
Yeah. What's your ages again?
67.
and I'll be 69 next month.
Wow, y'all look amazing up there. Beautiful.
In swimsuits.
Oh no,
And
you look.
the other Lynn. She was up there with us.
Oh hey, Lynn. Oh yeah. Hey, how are you? Wait, let me say hi to you too. Good to see you. How did the show go for you? Was good?
Quickly, went very quickly.
Yeah.
It had us up and on, but it was run very smoothly. And
Okay.
great communication, which is not always the key.
That's
It's
great.
the first time I've done Tim Gardner's show, and I think it's a beautiful show. The ladies with quality muscle.
Yeah.
Good turnout. I think there was 22 of us in the open.
Yeah.
The open too.
That's amazing.
And then we had 10 of us.
10, yeah, I think 10
Around 10
over
of us.
55 plus.
Over 55 plus.
That was a lot of ladies. I was impressed by that too. Yeah.
Great muscle and a beautiful day. My first time in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, it is. It's a beautiful day.
It's gorgeous. Yeah,
The weather is nice this time of year, actually. Yeah.
And we made it on the plane. I was a little stressed about that with all the airport shutdowns.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Being, being cold.
Yeah, nobody had any problems with the food. So.
Great.
God.
Yeah.
Our avocados, when we go through security, they think they're grenades.
Oh, yeah.
I
And
usually get stopped, but this time,
I think that they think protein powder is cocaine or something like that.
Don't snort that. It doesn't taste that good up the nose.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think having the government shutdown ending has probably helped with flights, because I was just in Vegas recently, and fortunately I didn't have too many problems. So I know a lot of people who did.
That's
so
right. That was
yeah,
a good show in Vegas too. Steve Carr show.
that was Steve Carr was great.
I'm gonna see if I can talk him into getting masters.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
So close to the West Coast, we have some more masters divisions. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
so pitch that for us and see if we can get
I love it.
So,
And where do y'all live?
Merritt Island.
Merritt Island, Florida. Yeah.
and San Diego, California.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you flew from all the way across the coast. Yeah. That's awesome.
And I just had to bucket the traffic coming down here.
Oh.
95.
Oh, yeah, that's true. 95 can be kind of a nightmare
So she probably
sometimes.
made it over here quicker than I made it down.
Yeah.
And then I met her through Janine Mankowski, our posing coach, our mutual posing
Oh, yeah,
coach.
Janine.
We have the
Yeah.
same posing coach, and we have the same lady makes our suits.
Yeah.
Oh, who makes your suits?
Carissa with Bikini Labs did a beautiful
Oh,
job.
yeah, she's here too. Yeah, I
I
saw
got some
her.
Beautiful flowers from her. She's
Oh,
such a sweet
that's
Yeah,
sweet.
she's got a lot of girls wearing her stuff here. So.
I know. That's terrific.
She was
Yeah.
busy. I really
If it looks good on stage, you know she did it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're great. Yeah, she's awesome. I want to interview her sometime too. So,
You ought to do it now while she's here.
yeah, that's true.
If she heard this, she's right down there.
Yeah, she is right.
Oh,
down
yeah. I'll go talk to
there.
her.
I don't think she'll be here tonight. But she's
Oh,
really,
cool.
Really cool. But we had a blast. This is my last show for this year.
Okay.
And then we'll come back next year, go back to the drawing board. I'm with Matt Allen, the Cyber Body Shop, and we'll just go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Who is your coach?
My coach is J3U University,
Okay.
John Jewett.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very cool. Yeah. He's well known.
I said with him. So
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool.
So we're at top shape. It's the holidays. Now we can go have turkey and
Yeah.
all the fun things that are swimming around us for now. But it's been super fun. And such a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. Yeah, I got to see you in Vegas last week, so that was great. Yeah,
Got silly.
that was awesome. Yeah, it was fun hanging with Janine and Eunice. Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah.
Now this is my tribe. Definitely with bodybuilding.
Oh. Definitely. Yeah, that's awesome.
I just met Randy. So.
Oh yeah, y'all were awesome. Yeah. Would you mind doing a couple of quick flexes? Maybe like
Sure.
double bicep and side chest, maybe?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll give you a side tricep. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
She does this side chest, and I'll do a tricep. Still.
Great. Very cool. And how about double bicep? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. Good seeing you.
It'll be nice to see your post online.
Thank you.
I mean, y'all two amazing ladies. I've been talking a little bit with Miss Richardson. I'm hoping to have her on for an interview in the future. You know,
she's delightful.
yeah, you know, I think it's amazing women of y'all years and your ages find the sport and have a passion for it. Here she did posted a little video here on her IG. You know, I can't play the music, gotta be careful.
One of my friends put that together for me.
That's really sweet.
That was my world championships look there. Yeah, I got super ripped there. Patty and I come in really conditioned. We don't have a problem with that. And Matt Allen is just spot on and bringing us in every time. He's just got our number on that. He's an amazing coach, along with Wendy Fertino with Cyber Body Shop. I met them in 2010 in San Jose when I was working with Ray Artie. And then Patty and Robin started working with Matt, got their pro cards, and I did too. And it's just been nothing but fun. I've always progressed. It's a beautiful suit that Carissa did. Yeah, it's a sport with a lot of art in it, for sure.
What?
Yeah.
See, like this, I feel y'all are like artists, and your body is the masterpiece.
Absolutely, like sculpture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's
Chris, come here.
I train at the gym in San Diego, and he's in there too. And it's so fun. It's like a mini Venice Beach when you go in there. And get this, George, I lived in San Diego finishing up my graduate degree in education, master's in education. And I trained at this gym when it was called World's Gym. And the owners are still there. And so when I went back in, they remembered me. So they're going to put a poster up on the gym wall with me because I've known these guys since the 80s, long time. And it just goes back. And Chris lives in San Diego now and is training there. And there's two other gyms in Chula Vista and El Cajon that aren't affiliated with the Pacific Beach one. But I love the Pacific Beach one. It's 3 levels and it's old school. It's got every old school equipment in there along with new school stuff and an outdoor open area under awnings that you can get fresh ocean air coming in and train under the palm trees and no snow.
See, I'm in the South. We rarely get snow too often. We do. It's like, you know, it's like this. To quote one of my characters, my other guy. Sometimes like this.
There he is.
It's like when it snows up north, no one blinks an eye. But it snows down south, everybody go crazy.
Oh, they don't know how to drive. They end up in the ditch. It's like, oh, there's ice on the road.
You'll see people going to the grocery store and get milk and bread and everything else, and the snow don't last no barely a day. I mean, it'll come down middle of the night, and then by the afternoon, it's going to be halfway gone. But it's just something because we don't get it too often. I remember my niece when she was stationed when she's in the Army, she was in Buffalo, and she's like 5'4", and she said that the snow went past her waist because it was just so deep. We have here, we have a comment. Shout out to my man here. Gus will get paid 7 says, this is a great interview. Catch you on a replay. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you coming through.
Send me any questions, Gus.
Yeah. Also, this is my man, Money Jade. Says the Sarah Vilgas drama with Natalia Quayle is ridiculous. Sarah meltdown just because she lost is pathetic. Enough said. All right. And also, this is a shout out to my man, Alex. It says, David's great as his interviews as George does. Well, everybody, we have our own styles. You know, it's me. I worked on this for quite so long because, like I said, when I started doing this, because again, I was taking my mom. She was sick, and this guy I met, his name is Coach Terry Harrison. He does a lot of content on MMA, and he told me, "Well, do something that you like to do." Well, I've been a fan of bodybuilding, and also I've been a fan of your ladies. So I said, you know what? Let's just start just doing a little stuff here and there. I started doing content and talking about your ladies, and then I started reaching out and getting interviews, and then I enjoyed doing this. And then my first bodybuilding show I went to was Savannah in 2022, and I got to meet people like Donna Salib. I saw Linda Murray. I met Annie Revicchio,
Oh,
just
fun.
yeah, she had beautiful physique. I remember Annie when she competing back in the day. Alina
Linda is
Popa. I
my
mean,
hero. Linda Murray. She's the one that really inspired me right out.
yeah. Now one person I would say is my. Maybe I obsessed over a little bit because I think she's so beautiful. She's amazing. She's the current #1 woman in the world, and that is Andrea
Oh,
Shaw.
I met her at the Steve Carr show. Loved her. All the ladies there. I went and just introduced myself, and Ashley Jones, Amanda, Patty Hansen, Heather Hunter, all those guys. It was super fun just to get in their, presence and have conversations with them. But yeah, I agree with you. There's some really awesome athletes out there.
Yeah, I got to meet Ashley. She was Tampa because one of her clients was competing there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was, and I also met Sharonica Hinton there. I
Yeah.
mean, that was a great opportunity for me. But one thing that really was the highlight for me, and if you recognize this gentleman right here in the middle between me and Eunice, he is a rock legend. That is that's one Mr. Diamond David Lee Roth. I
Oh
mean,
my God. Yeah.
he was there because he's a bodybuilding fan. He was talking about
How
Kay
fun.
Baxter. Yeah, Kay Baxter used to be his coach and
Oh,
trainer back in the day. And he talked to us about it because he was there hanging out. He watched the show. He was sitting with Derek Lumford. Derek Lumford came by the booth and we talked to him a little bit. And
you just never know who you're going to run into at these shows.
Yeah, it was
Isn't
a great
it
opportunity
great?
for me. But like I said, again, I always want to shout out my dear friend Eunice and as you know, bad rap.
Yeah,
She gave
I
me
just ordered a tank top and a little sticker, and yeah, she's just awesome. I want to collaborate with her and talk to her a little bit more on
well,
promoting
she'd be happy
women.
too because you know what, we need we need y'all to step up and promote this, especially bad rap. And also, she's out there, her and partner JoJo, really
Yeah,
giving opportunities to women in bodybuilding because it's getting far few between. But also, I want to she sent me something for my birthday, and that's the second
oh,
time she sent me for birthday. First time she sent something for birthday was in 2023. She was at the Olympic. We're still in Orlando, and she got me this issue of Muscle Development because
oh, how
Andrea's on the cover.
cool.
And to quote my other guy, when you get something, never do it for free. And this was my payment from her. She sent it to me. It was like a little bit after my birthday. My birthday was last Wednesday,
Happy
and it was
belated
like 2
birthday.
years ago. Yeah, it was like 2 years ago when she sent it to me. And what makes it so special because Andrea signed it.
Oh, how fun. How fun.
And I actually remember seeing her doing guest posing at Savannah when I went there. I would love to meet her. I know I act like a fanboy, but I think she's amazing. We got here a comment from a man. Money J says, Linda Murray is the GOAT. Yeah, she
She
is.
is.
We call her the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time. Right up there with Kevin Irish Style. She was also there at the Steve Carr show. Andrea Shaw is mentioned, and George goes into infatuation mode. Nancy, he's always like this. Don't mind him.
I
Yeah,
like that.
that's
I
it.
like
Because
that,
it's
George.
just something about y'all ladies. I'm like I said again, like I'm not a fan of everybody. I'm gonna be honest with that, like I talked about earlier. But I'm a fan of people like yourself who's been in this game, who has been from I would say the early ages of the sport to currency now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I enjoy getting a chance to talk to women like yourself who can
Thank you.
share your stories and maybe inspire maybe people who might be interested and want to know more about bodybuilding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm on the same page with you, George. I just love this sport. The sport's done so much for me. It's been a life changer for me. It has been the foundation of my life is this sport. It has just taught me so much about myself and others. And I think patience is probably one of the biggest virtues that I have worked on and have learned through this sport. And it's just patience with myself, patience with getting through diets, fatigue, injuries, traffic, finding a gym, traveling and finding a gym, taking your food with you, just patience and just doing the work. Like I said, just one brick at a time. You don't build it all in one day. It's just a consistency that we do day in, day out. And my life is living proof of this. I think I came out of the womb running. My mom said I was always hard to keep up with. And I have never stopped. I've just always enjoyed sports. I remember as a kid in second grade drawing anatomical figures like boxers, because I saw them on TV and they just had shorts on. And I would draw the anatomy with all the muscles and everything. I was just really drawn to the physicality of life and the training of our bodies, because our souls, our body is the temple of our soul. And that's how I treat it.
Yeah, that's respectful. I think, I've been a boxing fan when I was growing as a kid, like watching guys like Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson was one of my favorites. I don't watch pages because I do.
Frazier.
Yeah, Frazier. You can't forget the late,
Sonny Liston.
George Foreman, who just passed. Yeah, those were great old school box. The guys now I don't pay attention to because I do focus a little bit more on MMA. There's some. I focus more on the women, like people like there's one fighter who just recently fight Valentina Shevchenko. I'm a fan of hers. My friend, the coach, he interviewed her and her sister. People like Chris Cyborg. I mean,
Right.
it's just amazing how. And I've interviewed some ladies who were bodybuilders who also got into mixed combat sports. It's just sometimes sports can interchange each other.
Yeah, and it's really cool that nowadays there are so many opportunities for girls and women with sports. I mean, look at Caitlin Clark. She just ripped open the basketball world with her talent and broke the glass ceiling as far as, sponsorship and money coming in. And it's unfortunate how she's been treated in the league, and is thinking of, I think she's going to go to Europe and play. But the whole, not just basketball, but other sports as well. The Williams sisters with tennis. I mean, just watching the level of excellence, not only in the women's sports, but the men's too, with the supplementation and the methodology and all the different types of things that we have nowadays to make us bigger, stronger, faster. And it keeps elevating itself. I've really had fun just watching this sport grow. And even with all the different divisions, I'm happy because it's getting people motivated to care about themselves. And they've got a competitive platform that they can get on a stage and test themselves against their own limits and continue in the sport like I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just started women's. It was men's, then women's bodybuilding came along, and then fitness came along, and then
figures
came along. But here, with two other divisions, wellness and bikini, they were more brought in. They didn't evolve. Like if you look at physique, that kind of evolved from women's bodybuilding. They changed aspects of it. I remember we talked with Janine the other day how when she was, she wasn't women's bodybuilding, but she went down to physique, and then she did a front lat pose, and the judge penalized her for it.
Oh yeah, I love front lats. I'm more of a bodybuilder than all the physique stuff because I like the powerful poses.
Yeah. One thing, one thing I think, especially the guys who are fan of y'all ladies with muscles, they go hard when y'all do that. The most muscular when you, I think one person used to do it. A guy used to love it was Alicia Young. She was just because she had big shoulders. She was huge. She was like tank and big jugs too. But that's the thing is.
How can you tell the side chest with those things? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. But that's the thing is about this sport, because outside from people who don't follow it, it's a fringe sport because it's different. Yeah. And I remember watching an interview a while back you did with Ryan, how he talked about how sexualization of women in bodybuilding. The thing is, it's like anything, because it's such a fringe sport. It's so easy to sexualize because it's something different. I know ladies who do, as I call them, no offense, that's what they are, the beat meat websites. That's what they are. What they are. And it's just that it's something that it's a niche. But one thing, bodybuilding used to be on network television. You used to catch it on ABC. ESPN. But because it's always associated with the issue of the use of performance enhancers, but no one talks about it when you had baseball players getting busted, when you have seen boxers getting busted, football players, because y'all sport is more of a sport of presentation than it is a performance.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It is presentation. It's aesthetics. It's looks. And it's being able to show it, being able to actually pose and get the contraction, the mind-muscle connection of the muscles. And the posing. The posing in and of itself is a workout. It's hard. Do 15, 20 minutes of posing and you'll be sweating.
Yeah, we have it come. Shout out to my man. He's picking on me. He says he holds the magazine up like it's a marriage license. I want to be. She's gonna be my woman someday.
It
Also, he
is.
picks on me. He says he sleeps with the magazine too. Nancy, yes, I do. That's why it's so free and messed up.
I
I
love
hug it. I hug it and cut it. I call it George. And also, this is a shout out to my man. He says, what's next for Nancy? What's the plan for next year? Where she says she's gonna take this. You're done because you
I'm
did
done for
the
this year. And then Matt and I think the schedule comes out at the end of February. I heard that.
it usually comes out after nationals right on January, but then they reboot it right about February because some shows get dropped
Okay,
or somebody. Yeah,
right
because
in there. We're going to look at the schedule, but I did hear Puerto Rico is bringing back Masters Nationals.
yeah. Just because I saw that it was Tim Gardner. He's going back to Puerto Rico. It's
Yeah,
going to be the open part is going to be I think men's classic and I think figure, and then the rest is going to be masters because y'all have to pay to play.
exactly. So that's in April. I usually wait till the summer to do shows, but it's actually about 20 weeks out from now, which is usually when I start slowly just dropping my calories up in certain things, dropping other things, and kind of getting ready, headed towards that contest mode. But we'll talk. Matt and I'll talk. I need a little break right now. I
Yeah.
really like Gary Udit's show in the summer. It's a master show. I'll have to see who comes out with the masters shows next year. But I got my eye kind of on that Puerto Rico one. I do like the world championships, and we'll see where the other ones kind of roll out there and what I think I could do really well at.
Well, I know Linda Murray at her Atlanta show. She just do women 40 plus.
Yeah,
I think with Gary and Tim, they do everything up to 60 to 70.
60 and over. Yeah, which
Yeah,
helps.
60, 70. And most of the others are doing like mostly 40 to 45
Yeah.
because it's Chicago and Tampa are doing that sometimes. But yeah, that's the time. And you talk about your coach Matt. How long y'all been working together? When did you meet? And especially you're working with is your just happy belated birthday to Whitney Fortino because she has a twin sister too.
Yeah, I know. Wendy is great. Wendy and Matt, and Janine with my posing this year. I'm going to keep them as my pillars, my strong pillars for getting ready for next year for sure. Matt's just dialed, especially Patty and I in every year. Is just awesome to work with. I don't suffer hard. We work the diet where we kind of float it and roll it and deplete and then build and deplete and build. After this last show, I actually looked better for my second show. And I loved it. We did something a little bit different this time as he gave me a week with a cheat meal every day. And boy, it really helped me after you hit an anabolic thrust after you've done a show. Your body is just ready to grab those nutrients. And even if you're throwing in more fats and other things you haven't had in your diet, I just look better. So I felt better. I came in a few pounds heavier with a little bit more muscle on the second show. And right now, I'm just going into a high carb off season diet. I'm maybe 70% of my intensity in my workouts right now. I'm letting my body heal 4 to 5 days in the gym versus 6. I don't have to do a lot of cardio because I stay naturally lean, but I like my morning walks. It's just kind of clears my head. I've got a great neighborhood that I walk through, and I like to get out, and I'm not motoring and powering through where I'm going to lose weight, but I just get out and kind of move my body. I think walking is really important. So that's what I'm doing. Going to put some muscle on, kind of work on some weaker body parts right up through here where I had to have some of my pectorals cut out. I've got to fill in. Working on my quad sweep on my right leg. My hamstrings were a little behind. So just kind of bringing up the weak body parts and focusing on those and having fun.
Yeah, work on your strengths as much as your weaknesses. That's one important part about that. And work with Matt and Wendy and Janine. They really are bringing you along. And that's good to have that's good to have that good relationship with your coach and your coaches because especially I've known some ladies who got into had coaches that didn't just, especially for women, because sometimes some coaches will give the same cookie cutter plan. They get to a guy, but women, y'all, I say like this. Men and women, we have, even though we have some biological similarities, we have so much difference when it comes to chemistry like that. Also, men, we have natural testosterone. Y'all women do have, but it's very small, minute
Exactly.
You know, like
Yeah.
saying that we have a very small minute of estrogen in our system. But that's the thing is that's a good have a good relationship with your coach. Like when you're in the gym, what's that one, you know, like your favorite thing you like to do? And that thing says, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm tired. I don't want to.
Boy, I have a lot of favorite things that I like to do. I've lately my shoulder workouts I've just really enjoyed. I've made some great progress on, especially, you know, this one was replaced. So I was really focused on, you know, trying to get these guys to symmetrically line up, shall we say. But I really enjoy a really good, intense shoulder workout with some drop sets, some supersetting, all different kinds. We have all different kinds of weight equipment in our gym with the old school stuff, which I like because I can hit different angles. And it's just like going into a workshop and choosing different saws, hammers, nails, screwdrivers, etc., things to build with. The gym's like that too. So I like kind of going to different gyms. Certain gyms, like when I was in Vegas, I loved the weight equipment that was at the Las Vegas Athletic Club. Down in Henderson, they had some of the best weight equipment there. While I was there with Eunice, we went to the new tech gym down in Henderson. What a gym. It's like 30,000 square feet. We met the owner and the marketing director there, and they actually gave us some free passes to come in because Eunice was interested in purchasing equipment. So she kind of worked a really nice deal there. But they have, if you've never worked out in Vegas and you want to check out a really cool gym, go to the New Tech Gym. That one is 30,000 square feet. I was just like, oh my God, you have more than enough to choose from. It's like a candy store.
Yeah, like I said, I need to get back into it because I used to do some stuff at the house, and then I was going to Planet Fitness. I know it's not a bodybuilding gym,
I'm
but
going to check up on you, George.
but one thing, like I had a car, and it was a car my sister gave me because she had a new car. She gave it to me. It was already been through hell and back, and I got to find a way to get. I might just start out by doing stuff in the house, and then eventually I might get back in the gym. It's just I have to be. I said again, I'm not a very disciplined person. Sometimes
just start with one thing, George, whether it's just going for a walk in the morning or you get up and do some stretching for 20 minutes. Just start simple. Just start with something and then just add a little something to it after you've got that. And it's a routine, like brushing your teeth. You don't have to think about it. It's like, okay, what can I do next? And then just add the next thing that you want to do. And maybe start at home where you don't have to drive somewhere because it's a great way to talk yourself out of it. Oh, there's too much traffic or this or that. And do it at home. Just start at home.
yeah, that's a good idea. Like I'm saying, we got here. Shout to my man, Money J says, "You ever been to the Red Dragon Gym, Nancy?"
Yes, I have. I've been to Torture Room. I've been to the Dragon Lair. I think that's what he's talking about? Is the Dragon Lair? Very busy. I went there during the Olympia, and it was just packed. A lot of people there. So you have to kind of time yourself. But yeah, they have some great. And then Iris Kyle has her gym there as well that she opened up. So Vegas has a lot of different really cool gyms. You'll get a lot of different pros that go in there and different scenery, I guess you could say. But yeah, those are all really good gyms.
Yeah, I think the gym is a place where it's like I said again, it's everybody's place where they go to vent stress, to work out their Bibles, their church, and it's just a place that if you can find your place in it, and it's just you feel more comfortable than anything. Shout out to my man. He says, May you go, George, to the Olympia next year. You will probably see you. So call your crush, Andrea Shaw. Well, I am thinking about going, but not next year because I say again, I live on a budget. I don't get.
I understand.
I gotta see right now. I'm trying to save a few bucks. I'm hoping to go to a show next year because I like to. We like to be out there more. I want to reach out because when I went to Tampa, I met some ladies that I did interviews with. And I got to talk with them. I got to see Eunice. I got to meet. Especially doing this content about y'all ladies. Because again, I got
George.
Yeah, I got to say it may not be the '80s, but I'm down with you ladies. And,
I know. Hey, we love you back too.
I appreciate that because when, like I said, when y'all ladies, you tell like when my friend Alex, he was at the Olympia and he was able to get a shout out from Ashley Jones. She gave me a shout out. And someone like Andrea Shaw, signing that book and telling me how much she appreciates me, or someone like Eunice telling me that she called me her brother and she loves me and I love her too, and her and Mr. Willie, shout to them, they're great people. Shout out to Bad Rap, what they're doing, because it's tough to be a woman in this sport. We have to deal with, one thing is dealing with people's prejudice, the idea of women with muscle. Like this woman can you believe this woman in her just about to be 70? She's pumped. She's in good shape. Look at the shoulders, everything, guys. But then people look and say, "Well, she's trying to be all manly and like that, You're trying to be so masculine. You're trying to be a man. You're trying to take my place." No, you're an athlete. You've been an athlete, and this is your passion.
So, I saw something the other day on Instagram or whatever, and I've done this before when people are like, women aren't supposed to have muscles, and it's usually guys that come up to me that have no muscle. And I'm like, well, if we're not supposed to have muscle, then you must be a woman because you don't have any muscle. They just look at me like, oh. Another one I love is I'll be going through the airport or somewhere random. People want to arm wrestle us all the time, for whatever reason. But another really common question is, how much do you bench press? And I love it when they do this because I frustrate the shit out of them. And it's educational. Trust me. I'll look at them and I'll say, well, honestly, bench press is not really a compound movement to test your overall strength. You'd want to do a deadlift or a squat. Those are usually bigger lifts. And I said, so I don't do 1 rep max. I'm not into powerlifting. I'm a bodybuilder. So I'm not, they're like, yeah, but how much can you lift? I'm like, well, it depends on the day, what my workout is. Cause I don't go for those, reps to failure. I don't do that at my age. That's a good way for me to injure myself or lose muscle. So I just say, well, if you really want to know a person's strength, it's not through a bench press. So you might want to do your homework a little bit.
I remember when I was in high school, when I was playing football on my football team, I was one of the strongest guys. I was squatting like 550 by the time I was 16.
I'll bet you can move.
Yeah. When I was younger, because, I used to, because we grew up country. My family was sharecroppers. We grew up country, worked farm.
Okay.
My brother we used to lift out, we were backyard, my brother with cinder blocks, stuff like that. And I remember I was doing, my max was at 350. And I had one of the guys on my team say, George, he asked me this question. He says, George, say, you ever had any son? He said, no, I never had. He said, well, son, you know what? You cockstrong. Because, I like to take that story because it's kind of like,
That's funny.
Yeah, because, I loved it. But then when I quit because I had to go I had a part-time job. I couldn't keep playing football, so I didn't lift weights. But I was still strong. This was a true story. It was in high school, and it was like, I think it was my senior year, and there was this fight. It was these girls fighting in the hall.
Oh boy!
And I don't know why. I just grabbed one of the girls. She was a little taller than me. I grabbed her, cinched her up, and I took her to the room. The assistant principal was holding her hands, and they looked at me and said, George, if you can hold her, yeah, I got her. And I had one of the teachers talking about, say, I tried to grab her. Why can't you do it? Well, I just couldn't say, well, I'm just, like I said, just being a country boy, being strong, like Jeffro Bodine, right here, we got here.
Okay. What kind of crops did you guys do?
Well, my family did anything from, we did tobacco, peas, cotton. I mean, sometimes we plant and we picked.
My friend Chino he did that. They went all up and down the coast of California doing, crops.
Yeah, we were sharecroppers. We lived for a good while till eventually they didn't need us anymore. We moved up here when I was like 19 after I got out of high school. And we lived up here. I've been living in the same place for about 30 years. Me and my mom, and everybody else been in and out. But it was me and her because that was my road dog, my birdie, my mom. I miss her. We have here, shout out to my man. It says, work your magic fast, because if you wait too long, she might get another guy. And he says, I'm talking about Andre. No, you're not. She's not getting another man. She waiting for me. She saved myself for me.
He's not done with Andrea yet. I'll send you some. I got some great pictures with Andrea when I was at the Steve Carr show.
Oh, I remember
great conversations with her. Really,
I know. I know Eunice talked to her because she says they were talking. She was talking to a bunch of people, and she saw Eunice. They were talking, and that's really nice. I think I've interviewed ladies who know her that worked with her. She said,
Mhm.
I don't know, if I meet her, I'm gonna be like uh, Oprah Winfrey from the scene from Color Purple when she sees Miss Celie and says, "Miss Celie, I hadn't seen you so long, sitting in that jail fixing the rock, and I saw you. I knew it was a God." I knew that's if I ever get that's I know because I'm a fool. I know
You're
I'm
so
trying to
funny.
fight. Yeah, I'm trying fight not to do
I
it,
hope that
but
day comes soon for you.
I hope to do it. But also, you say you retired and you were studying massage therapy. I actually but a few years ago I was studying massage therapy, but then my car
Okay.
broke down and I couldn't go back and forth to school anymore. And my mom got sick. I was taking care of her. I actually used to practice it because I used to have a little night. I had a few jobs coming up. My first
Uh-huh.
job was 16. I was working at a gas station. Then I was working at a textile plant, and then I worked in a strip club. So
Fun.
yeah. Yeah, I used to sometimes girls would say, "Joe, I think you need a massage." I was pretty good at
Uh,
it. Sometimes they even tip me too. They take money from one guy and give it to me. So
I
but
used
what?
to have some clients that were strippers, and those girls work hard.
Yeah, they
They're
do.
in those heels. They're up all night. They're not eating. But these were in San Diego back in the 90s, and these girls made good money. They were smart. They were saving their money to go to college. And one of
Yeah,
them was driving a Mercedes around me. I mean, they took care of themselves, but that's hard work.
yeah, it is. People they work hard to work on hard on. So that's
Yeah.
that's like, yeah, because it's a tough job. Most people like I had guys coming to me and say, "Man, George, you working on that?" The girls say, "Dude, it's not always sunshine and rainbow. Sometimes it's a tough night. Sometimes not
Oh
everything you
boy.
want." But what got you into that? Into massage therapy?
Thank you. That's a great question that you asked me. I've been in the healing professions. It's been attractive to me. Even in my family, I was the middle child, peacemaker, taking care of my family members and whatnot, kind of came naturally to me. I'm a natural empath, which can work against me at times. However, I had when I was racing bikes and doing, I was doing up to 300 miles a week on the road training. It was intense, and I had a cycling accident where I had hit my shoulder really hard, and it just got worse. 2-3 years into it, it was the point where I couldn't sleep on it. And my neighbor that lived above me when I was going to graduate school in San Diego told me about her massage therapist, not spa, but a therapist that could help me with my shoulder because they wanted to do an operation on it. And I said, I'll try anything to stay out from underneath the knife. So Dan started doing therapeutics on me, which is uncomfortable. I mean, they're getting in there and breaking that stuff up. I loved it. I'm naturally attracted to the workings of the body. So I actually went to school not to start a new career, but to learn more about how to heal myself and have the tools so I could go back into the gym and go back on my bike and get my health back for myself. So I didn't get into that dilemma of having to depend on a surgeon or somebody else to make those decisions for me. So I actually went and I got my 1,000 hours. I'm actually a holistic health practitioner. So I deal with, nutrition, life coaching, health issues, along with soft tissue issues. And I did that for 10 years in San Diego, stopped teaching. I teach my clients every day, but I stopped my educational work, made way more money, had much more freedom, and went into massage therapy and did that for almost 30 years before I retired in the Bay Area in 2022. I still have some clients on the side, but I'm not cranking out 6 days a week, 6, 7 clients a day. And when I moved to the Bay Area, my business took off in 1 year. That took me 10 years to build in San Diego because I moved up there during the .com era. So I was working on the Niners, the Warriors, the owners of the Warriors, some of the Oakland Raiders, pro people, a lot of high profile Silicon Valley executives, in a lot of money in the Bay Area. And my business I was so blessed. It just took off, had a great reputation, and loved my work. I had a lot of people would fly from out of town, come in to see me. And so I'm very gifted in it. I've had about every injury I've worked on people. So I'm like, yeah, I know what that's all about. So I got into it. I like helping others get out of pain. And that's why I'm interested in helping women that have been in domestically abusive relationships and helping them find their way as well. And body work is very helpful for helping you get through trauma. There's a particular trauma bond that occurs, especially with narcissistic people. That's an actual neurochemical change in the brain that actually affects your brain and your health as it goes. And so I experienced that, and it's awful. It's harder to come out of a trauma bond it's 20 times harder coming off of a trauma bond from a narcissist versus heroin. That's how bad it is. It's not just a normal breakup. It's an actual biochemical change that happens in your brain from this constant 1,000 paper cuts over time, especially with a covert narcissist, because you don't know what's happening to you. You just know it's not right. Yeah. So massage therapy and helping people deal with their physical pain. And now I'm getting more into the psychological and spiritual warfares that people go through with abuse.
Yeah, that's the thing is the body can go, but if the mind's not willing, it can just boom. I think it's just so much to it, especially with the sport of bodybuilding, where it's like a lot of bodybuilders deal with body dysmorphia. How you feel not big enough,
Absolutely.
Also the post-show blues. We talked about this a while back. Me, David, we got a friend. His name is Jeremy. He runs his own site. It's called the Art of Female
Muscle blues.
Yeah, because when you lose those gains because you got to relax, you're not competing anymore.
It's like, a real fuck. It is.
I think there's one young lady. I met her in Tampa. Her name is Paula Ranta. She's 26 years old. She's still a child. She's right behind the ear, breast like Similac. And she did I think 9 shows this year. And that's
a lot of shows.
And that's the thing is that I don't know if it's just, I understand you already get your qualification. She got qualification in Chicago. She did Tampa. She did Texas. And she did another show. And she did 3 more shows before she got a qualification in Chicago. And I don't know, maybe that might be a sign of somebody dealing with some kind of issue. I know you want to be active, competitive, but that many shows and who's paying for it? Because, for bodybuilding, it's not a very lucrative sport. If you are the lucky few that can make
more than you make.
I mean, you mostly how people tell me you most time stealing from Peter to pay Paul. And if for y'all ladies, the cost is for the men have their costs because they eat more food and use more, this and that and that. But for y'all ladies, the cost is show day, where you have to present yourself. You have to combine femininity and muscularity.
Absolutely.
You have to look a certain way. Your suits right there is shot to Bikini Labs. I think she's probably reasonable suits.
Yes.
The hair, your makeup,
the tanning, the waxing, the nails, everything. Just jewelry. The suits are super expensive.
Yeah, you right now. That's your rent, a car note, there's a mortgage. The guys got to put on a pair of banana hammers and boy shorts, and that's it. And go on stage, put on some tan. Other thing, like me, I just got a haircut a few days ago. That's all I got to do. We'll put some hair.
The part's a little crooked.
Yeah, just like women, just line me up right. But that's the thing about this sport. If you love it enough, it's worth the expense. But sometimes I wish, shout out to people what Eunice is doing. She's sponsoring a young lady. She's gonna make her. She's competing nationals in a couple of weeks. What she's doing, she's like to help out other competitors, and I'd like to see more opportunities for y'all women. I know, again, they're looking at the divisions like bikini and wellness because they're very prissy. They're the TNA division. Now you got the new division. Excuse me. Let's get fit model. I interviewed a young lady. She just got shout out to Emmy. Emmy, I met her when I was in Tampa. She just got a pro card this past weekend. I'm not a fan of division. No offense. I interviewed a couple of fit model ladies, but I'm not a fan of division. But again,
when wellness came in, it was funny because the commentators up on the stage were even like, we're not really sure what the parameters are on this, but this is the new division. They're kind of like Clydesdales with the larger legs and the glutes and the smaller upper body. So there is a completely different look to them. But it was interesting when they were trying to kind of define it when it first came, out onto the stage and whatnot. It's like wellness, okay.
Yeah, I know it just saw recently Christy Mendoza's gonna make the move, but with her, she still got to drop a lot of muscle from she gained from as a bodybuilder because she's competed with body
Uh-huh.
for like 5 years. I've
Yeah.
known a friend of mine, her name is Jada. She was doing women's physique and women's bodybuilding before, but now she's doing wellness. She did a show in Spain. You
Okay.
know, and some of those wellness girls, many of them wore either bikini, physique, or figure. And some of those wellness girls just are more defined and more cut than even women in physique and bodybuilding.
I know. It's like, okay, so yeah, it varies, the look varies. And that's the hard thing for us women, especially when they added the physique before they added all the other ones, and we had women's bodybuilding and physique. It was like, okay, you don't want us too grainy, you don't want us too muscular, you don't want us too ripped, and then just trying to find that in between. It's tough as a competitor to come up with the right look. So I got to the point where it's like, I'm gonna come in and see how I want to look, and step on the stage looking how I want to look. I'll try to stay within those parameters, but bottom line, I like to come in looking like I like to look.
Mhm. We have a comment from a man. Shout out to Man Money J. He says,
Yes,
"Ever try cryotherapy?"
yes, I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Also,
awesome. I say try lots of different things. I also tried with Eva Dunbar and Derek Farnsworth. They're at my gym. Derek's my massage therapist, and then Eva has been doing a electrical stim, muscle stim called Newbie that Dexter Jackson and some of the other pros have used down in Venice Beach, and it helps with activating more muscle recruitment and fibers when you're in certain pressing movements, and they'll balance it between your hamstrings and your quads. In particular, I've been trying to bring up my right quad because it's smaller than my left, and phenomenal. The results of this is called Newbie, Nubie, I think is what it's called. It looks like, those electrodes that they put on you, but it's a different wavelength that they use for the muscles. And I have noticed a difference on that. So I'm going to be continuing that with Eva in the off season this year. And each year there's usually some new things that are coming out, new peptides, new training philosophies. I like Haney with Evagen and his different training techniques that he does. There's so much to learn, and every year is a little bit different. And I love just getting online and seeing what people are doing and listening to your interviews when you're talking to people and seeing what's out there, because we can all learn from one another what works.
yeah, because some things this sports evolved. It's not like back in the day where you just put on some ice packs and a wrap
Yeah.
and go on. They're using cryotherapy. They're using gene therapy. While I was in Tampa, I think they had the was it the booth Titan? They had a lady give me a shot. It
Oh
was like
yeah.
I think it was a B12. I felt gave me a little more energy.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to my doctor, like I said, with me because I'm a kind of a big dude. I was at 500 pounds, but I'm not a little under 400 now, and
Awesome.
I want to do a little more. But like I said, again, I got knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I went to my orthopedics. He gave me a shot, which helps me out a little bit.
Okay.
And I find things, I try to give myself do more, but sometimes it's tough. Those try to get yourself the push to do more. Here we got here. Shout out to my man Money J says, Paula Ranta, you're talking about, yes. Who
9 shows.
did 9 shows? Yeah, she did just about 9 shows because I know
That's a lot of shows.
because she did Olympia, she did the remaining muscle festival after Olympia, she did Chicago, she did Spain, she did Tampa, she did
Wow.
Texas, she did I think she did uh Shreveport and Omaha.
Yeah.
That and she, like I said again, she's 25, 26. I mean,
That's a lot of shows.
yeah, but still that's gonna weigh on your body after a while.
Yes, it is.
Shout out to my man here. He says fit model is trash. Just saying that up front. But it's a new division. It's going to get more attention. Also, he says this. Shout out to my man. He's been sticking in here, supporting me. He says bikini wellness girls are girls as a mandatory pose stick their butts out for the judges. I never really
Yeah,
understood
you and me both.
those divisions to being with that. And he has one more here. Also says, however, I appreciate it wellness somewhat cause they do carry some muscle on their frames. But yeah, if you look at the bikini girls now, when bikini came in, it's supposed to be more soft and feminine look.
They were soft.
But then now, because how influential bodybuilding, these girls, I'm like this. I talk about this with some people. How we're seeing women right now who should be in certain divisions, right? That's why I create fit model, because they don't want to be like physique division, like women's bikini. You want to get away from that, but bikini, those women are. You go to bring them divisions, they end up looking like that. Like remember going back to Corey Everson, you're going back to Rachel McLeish, going back to, I think one thing was we would talk about was the movie, Pumping Iron 2.
Yeah.
And Beth Francis came in and she changed everything. She softened herself a little bit those last few years, but then that last Olympia, what she did in '91 with Linda, she came in like a beast. And she was also at the Olympia. She was hanging out with Linda and Corey Everson. And then you look at Linda Murray, you look at Iris Kyle, and you look at Andrea and so many other women. The sport has really evolved over time, especially say with the men, if you look at from the Arnolds to the Columbos to Frank Zane to like guys like Lee Haney and Dorian Yates, and you look at guys like Samson Dua and Derek Lundford and Heidi and guys like Nick Walker,
Oh, yeah. I used to work out in San Diego when SR Sambadi was still alive and working out. That guy was massive, just massive. I'm surprised he didn't win one of the Olympias because he was right in there. Yeah.
Well, it's not so much about mass things, about looking, but I think some people saying how Andrea Shaw is better conditioned than Derek Lundford. That's how it is.
Yeah.
We have here a guest here, and this is my sister from another mother. My dear friend Eunice says, hello, my brother George, and my new iron sister, Nancy.
That's Eunice. Hey, Eunice.
Yeah, rush to get home and catch you two having a great time. I say it's a great time. Yeah, it says great interview, George. He says, oh yeah, having a great time. Sorry, typo. That's all right.
Good to see you, Eunice.
Because like she was on yesterday, we were talking about the Steve Carr show. And it was. I mean, Ashley, she looked amazing. I mean,
that was a great show. That's a great show.
I interviewed one lady who was in top 5, Elizabeth Moline. She looked great. I interviewed when she made an announcement. It was 2 weeks before she made an announcement she was going to do that show, and she looked great. There's some people like we both feel like. We even told Janine should have placed a little higher. In my opinion, one lady in there, she just placed too high. She just switched over from physique to women's bodybuilding. I think they placed it too high. Maybe she should have been a little lower. I mean, the judging, it seems like it's like we see competitors that look like they're like. I'm maybe just me being a fan and being someone from the outside. What am I missing? What I'm not seeing?
Well, even as a competitor, sometimes I ask myself that. I was like, wow. How'd that come out that way? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and the judges I'm sitting in the back, I'm not up front. Sometimes I don't have the best seat, things like that. We can miss things, but it happens, they're only up there for a short amount of time. It's easy to miss things too. It's not hard. It's not easy being a judge. I don't think I don't want to do it. I don't want to try that, but there are times I've walked off stage. I'm like, wow, I thought I should have placed higher than that. And you look at the pictures, it's like, wow, they have no glutes and they have no back. But, it could be how the camera, the photographer took the picture too. I don't know. But you see them backstage as well. So it is subjective. Like I said, you're not in control of that. You just have to be a gracious competitor and go back to the drawing board and see what you can do on the next show.
Yeah, and also bodybuilding is not so much about the other person; it's about you versus you.
It is
because you have to bring your best physique, your best look. You have to come in here. You can't worry too much about that person standing next to you because they're doing the same thing too. But one thing
everything up to that point, there's nothing you can do show day except present yourself. So.
Yeah, we have here a comment from a man, stick it in there. My man, Money J says, Eunice is always a sweetheart and appreciate her for setting up bad rap. Shout out to Eunice. I remember when she showed it out to me and talked about how she was doing it. Then I think David had got Gina Carrero signed up. I had got Sherry Priyanka Kaman sign up. I mean, they like to do some more stuff, and also, if someone's interested in go to the Bad Rap website, you want to buy, the clothes and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
absolutely. They got some great stuff. I was on there just yesterday and getting some stuff. It's got some really nice stuff. And Christmas is coming up, so why not?
Yeah, yeah. If you don't, buy it for a lady friend, buy it for a family member. Hey, if you know a female bodybuilder that you're really close to, hey, they can wear it like and shoot them out because shout out to and also shout out to Roxy George. She's competing in a couple of weeks. That's one of Eunice's brand ambassadors, competitors. She's helping out.
This is awesome.
Yeah. The thing is, like I said again, bodybuilding has always going to have this two sides to it. You're going to have the people who are fans of it, have the people who don't like it, have guys who's a little bit extreme when it comes to y'all ladies. Because again, you said that beauty's out of her, but again, I would say this, Nancy, you are beautiful.
Thank you so much.
That's the thing. No, man, it's my pleasure, son of gentleman, tell a lady that she's beautiful. But I wish, as a fan, I wish that people understand more of it. Maybe maybe more people like Andrea. She's doing good stuff, but maybe get some people out there. Maybe get it back on ESPN. Maybe get people who want to invest into it. We all know it's because even though it's very a fringe sport, but it seems like it's worldwide. You have shows in Japan. I just saw a lady who's Ashley Joe's client. She's got a pro card in India.
Wow.
I've interviewed ladies from Brazil, Mexico, Honduras, Czech Republic. I just interviewed a lady from Great Britain.
That's awesome.
It's a sport that's gone worldwide, and I think it's because of people like yourself, or people like Eunice, and people like. Even though I'm not a fan of what he done to women's bodybuilding in other divisions, Arnold. I'm not a fan of Arnold. I used to watch the movies and get to the chopper. And again, we all know, and I say this often, that the men's division is the bottom bitch. If you know the pimping game, it's the one that gets the attention. The ones that gets the money. If you saw Derek Loeffler walks away with $600,000.
Oh my God.
Andrea just gets 50. And I'm saying, I know you're not going to get the same amount, but at least she's the Miss Olympia. At least give her a good chunk where she can really, with the money right now, she had the Triple Dynasties coming up. That's in April. And her and Sid Gillen, who's 8-time figure champion, come together and still giving opportunities for divisions like figure and women's bodybuilding. I know you competed in Legions, but this year they dropped because I interviewed right before she got a I interviewed Yvonne Pennington. Shout out to Sergeant Yvonne Pennington. She's healing after her foot injury. She was the last woman from Physique to get the last Olympic qualification because now they cut out figure and Physique. Even I think it showed Daytona cut it out. It seemed like this pushback against you women with muscle.
It's and I've been in the sport for almost 30 years, and it's just like I said, every year is kind of a crapshoot on how we need to look and what we can win, and if we even have a division for us. I mean, bikini, all those guys, they're pretty set up through the shows, but it's the women's bodybuilding and the women's physique that seems to be the common denominator that gets rolled around, changed, shortchanged, cut out, eliminated, added, then eliminated. So there's no real consistency that you can bank on, which is not great because the sport's already hard enough trying to get everything all lined up and your ducks in a row. And then each year you come out and it's either a different look or a different show, or you can't compete in that show and you were going to compete in that show. And then you have to go, back to your strategy and back to the drawing board to see how you want to navigate the year to get the best results and opportunity for yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I remember my grandpa used to say like sometimes a mule will flop in the middle of the field and not want to work, and that's where I feel like we're in bodybuilding. It's like that mule still getting whipped, pushed around.
Exactly.
It's not right.
It's not right. I love what Eunice is doing and bringing some more money to the sport. She's awesome. I'm collaborating with Eunice and coming up with some ideas too for our sport and just getting it out there and promoting it. And that's where I'm headed in the sport now, so I can make a difference in helping feed the sport with girls. I want to go to Europe. I do spend a lot of time in Europe, and I've got a lot of friends over there. Dorian Yates is in Spain, and they've got a lot. They just had the Portugal show. They've got the
Yeah.
Spain. They have some others in Europe that I think Europe was going to be a nice place to start planting seeds for new competitors and girls. So I do want to, I'll be also working in the States and eventually drawing some other people to come in with me on this and start getting more interest internationally as well.
I remember at the Atlantic Coast was a lady who I follow, Natalia Bastrovova. She's Russian. This woman, she's just.
She was in the show, the little tiny one.
Yeah,
she's a stud muffin. She just brings it.
I mean when she won her pro card 2 years ago at the Romanian Muscle Fest amateur show. She won both women's bodybuilding and women's physique. Then she did the main show and was fourth, beating out like I think two women who just did the Olympia that month before, and then coming here. Winning her first Olympic qualification at Shreveport, took second at Omaha. Didn't do as well as Olympia. She did a few shows here and there. I know she did the Rising Phoenix, and she did that show. And I think she did another show. I think she's an impressive lady. She's just almost 60.
Right in there, yeah.
Yeah, and and that's again about y'all ladies. It's again the sport. Age just doesn't matter so much. It halts all the time, but doesn't really stop it. We got to hear from my man Alex. Shout out to Alex. He says this. He says, I recently drew some bad rap athletes for my website. Thank you, but I saw that. Also, shout out to my man Money J says, how is Jada Beverly doing? Is she still doing well in this Georgia? Where she just did a show in Spain. I'm going to check out. She dropped a picture, something like that. And I'll send it to him once they get it. And shout out to my man Money J says, I lost all respect for Arnold too as soon as he got rid of yeah. But we all know he's not a fan of women with muscle. That's what
I'm just blown away. I'm just like, here he is. It was hard for him coming over from Austria, breaking in, and if it wasn't for Joe Weider and those opportunities, his life would probably be extremely different. And you would think that he would want to provide the same platform for the women. I don't quite get that.
And and the Arnold Classic is one of the biggest shows next to the Olympia. They get the biggest prize money to Olympia.
Exactly.
But again, Olympia is still giving opportunities for figure individuals. People still go and support it because they have a friend there, or it's still in amateurs. You can compete for a pro card as a bodybuilder or a physique competitor, but you can't take it into hey, I want to do the main show because that's an invitation. But you don't feel like it's not equal representation. But I know most definitely. Once they put out the list, I'm going to see Fit Model on there because either he's going to have to kick out fitness or he might keep it or expand the size of the show. I don't know, but we all know again. This is the NPC and IFBB is a business. It's about making money for themselves.
It's about making money for themselves.
But again,
it's a moneymaker.
Yeah, and thing is, you athletes, like I said again, we don't come see. The judges. We don't come see the promoters. We don't come see the people behind the scenes. We come see y'all.
Exactly.
And if anything, like any sport, you should take care of your athletes. You pay a pro card fee.
Couldn't agree with you.
You pay a pro card fee every year. That's like $250-$70 a year. That money, where is it going to?
Whatever. Yeah, and then when you do a show, like when I did the World Championships, it was $300 per class. So it was $600 for me to do the physique and the women's bodybuilding. And then you have on top of that all the tanning and the makeup and the hair. And, I probably spent 10, 12 grand on the two shows that I did this year.
Yeah. And you're not sponsored. That's the part about it.
I'm not sponsored. It's your lodging, your suits, your training, your food, your posing, your contest prep, your training programs. All of that adds up and time away from other things in your life. But it's a sacrifice that I make. I know it's expensive, and I just cut out other things in my life so I can do this sport.
Well, one lady told me it's not a sacrifice, it's an investment because you want to bring your best self when you come to these competitions.
Exactly.
And the money you're putting towards is investing to yourself. Yes, sacrifices are like especially spending time, like relationships and family members. And, Thanksgiving's just a few days away. Christmas is around the corner. Your brother, he took a long drive to come support you. That's good. And and that's the tough part. That I've talked to ladies that sometimes the family don't understand why they get into it. I've had women tell me that their parents are like worried about them. Say, "Sweetheart, I don't want to be here. I don't want you so muscly," or
Yeah.
or I've had a couple of ladies told me that when they started getting bodybuilding, they got divorced because their husband didn't want them to get so into the sport.
Oh,
But
I went
then,
through a couple of relationships with non-bodybuilders. It was rough. I mean, it's a very consuming sport, and you need a partner that really understands what it's all about, and that there is sacrifices to make, but it doesn't last the whole year long. At least for me, I'm not doing it all year long, but it's hard to find people in your life that understand the sport and you can cohabitate with or even date while you're participating in it, because it's very isolating. It can be.
and it's even hard for women who are dating someone who's also a bodybuilder because you might feel like competitive. Like
Yeah.
maybe one of you pro, one of you not. I met these two couples, the Priaris, Oksana and Autumn. This guy survived the Omicron variant of the of C-19. That was C-19 killed my mom because she was always
Oh,
sick. And it was like her body was already went through stuff, seizures and stroke and all stuff like that. But
okay.
he finally turned pro year before last year. Did his pro debut. Great people. I got to meet them, and she was a pro, competing, being active, and he still stood by her. One of their clients just did the Olympia in fitness, and she cracked the top 5. I interviewed her. Her name's Anna Famina. I interviewed her a couple of years ago, and that's good to find that close bond. Someone can share that. They
Oh,
have kids, they have a family, they have things, and that's a lot for anybody, especially again for women,
hell yeah.
especially the burdens of how society views you are. It's just like this. My mother had 7 kids, and there's only 4 of us living now.
It's a
And
lot of kids.
you are women. You are the bearer of our children. You raised us. You take care of us. You did this and that. You work hard. My mother had to work a job in the fields, and sometimes when the fields were done, she worked as a maid at motels during the season, off season, and it takes a lot.
It
And
does.
then with men, to get a little more leeway because this is how I say this. Our purpose in life as men is to breed, battle, and die. That's it. But we were like Conan, question, let me see the role you and hit the limitation of the women.
You're funny. You crack me up. Also, the women are usually cooking the food and getting the food ready for the kids and around all kinds of stuff that we don't eat when we're in contest mode. So, their sense of willpower is off the charts too. I admire women that do this sport that have had kids that come back and get back on stage. It's amazing.
I saw one lady, Miss Donna. I remember her. I forgot her last name, but I remember she competed back in the day. She stepped away, had some children, and then she came back. Gina Hall, a couple of ladies.
Yeah.
I was in contact with Carmen Brady, and I was hoping maybe get her on one of these days. And she stepped away. She was telling me her son was going to have their first grandchild, and
Uh-huh.
she did the acting for a little bit. She played Darla in the Napoleon Dynamite, and she came back, got a pro card, and she competed at the Masters Championships. And and I know ladies who took a step back. Then ladies like who are focused their goal, and they
Yeah.
sometimes say they hate that they missed out on starting a family, stuff like that. But the thing is, if you want it bad enough, sometimes sacrifice is worth it. We have your comment from a man. Shout out to a man, Money J. He says, Mr. International at the Arnold Classic, been at his show for decades. How now all of a sudden he excluded from the show? Actually, remember it predates the Arnold Classic because it was before. It was used to be called the Columbus Sports Festival. Then
Yeah.
Arnold buy it out and change the name to it.
Yeah.
Mr. International predates the Arnold, at least by 2 years. But
Exactly.
one thing I ask you, ladies, and I especially as a fat man, I have a actually, especially when you're after that long prep and after you hit that stage, what was that thing you wanted, Nancy? What was the thing that's desire? What was the thing, as my other half would say, make you stranger, but make you stronger?
Are you talking about food? Oh
Yeah.
man. First thing coming off stage is pizza. Pizza. I want a big, fat, cheese-filled. I don't want the pie crust. I like the thinner crust. But bring me a pizza and a nice glass of wine and a salad. And After that, I go home and I'm in a carb coma. But I love pizza and I love bread. Those are the two things I miss the most on contest diet is bread and my little pizza. Every once in a while, we get a burger for a cheat meal and things like that, but it's usually pizza is my go-to.
Yeah, I know ladies love pizza and fries.
Oh,
I remember one lady, she said her favorite was sushi. I looked at her and said,
I eat that during contest prep.
I grew up poor, but not that poor where I eat cold raw fish, man. I like that's never been my
want that.
no. But also, I one lady, she said she loves cakes, this and carbs because it's that glucose in it that helps your brain. Because I remember we were talking on IG. I was saying where she was sitting for the 23rd. She thought it was Sunday. So no, it's Monday. So I said, I'm saying, yes, I want to get it right because I had that thing with Unison on. I said, we should just get the time right. I said, okay, we got it right. We got straight now. We got straight.
Food. That's food porn. And it's funny, George, when I'm in contest prep, what do I watch? The freaking food channels. Iron Chef, Hell's Kitchen. I watched, what was that show with Martha Stewart or, who's the one that had the voice that had the cookbook? Anyway, I was watching all these food shows and dives, drives, and diners,
yes, Guy Fieri, yeah. I used to watch that. Me and my mom used to watch Chop because sometimes before we go to bed from the bed, we used to watch Chop.
Myself.
Yeah, I mean, that one guy was a British guy said my cooking's not that good, but he always win. He was down on himself, but he always won. But that's his. Yeah, I think a lot of bodybuilders are foodies.
Porn, man. I don't know why.
Also, I think some bodybuilders have to deal with abuse of food, especially anorexia, bulimia.
Yes.
But bodybuilding has something that helped it with dealing with that.
Yes, it does. There are a lot of different addictions that are with the sport and, food issues and bulimia and things like that. And body dysmorphia can come with it. So that's why it's really important to have good coaches and a good sense of stability when you're coming into the sport. Because there's, you go through these extremes that can really test your resilience and your sense of self and self-control and being able to visualize that goal and realize that food is a way to get there, but it's also a way that it can take you off your plan too if you indulge in it in the wrong way.
Yeah, it can be both a weapon or a tool for a bodybuilder. We have here, shout out to my man, Money Jason says, fitness is the most entertaining division in the entire sport. Yeah, because those ladies have to. You saw Missy Prescott switch divisions recently.
Great admiration for that because that's not easy to do at all. Fitness is those girls they're studs, man. I would not do that. I have great respect for them.
I couldn't do it because I'd look like I'd be roly-poly.
Only by accident. I'm on ice or something, I go flying.
Yeah, and my rolling, flipping days are over.
Lord, have mercy. I have enough hard time with my poses, let alone a flippity doodah in there somewhere.
Well, folks, we're not going to hold the lovely Miss Brigham too long. I mean, I enjoy when I get to talk to ladies like herself who's been in sport as long as she has. What she's seen has done, because this is where a prospect, we get to learn. For me, this is not just opportunity to learn, also opportunity to be enriched by her experiences, because that's one thing I wish more people want to be open-minded about the sport, to learn, understand what it is. It's not just pounding these steroids and getting big, because people told me if you take the shit and you don't follow the regimen, don't train, don't discipline, not consistent, you're not going to look like what y'all look like.
No, not at all. Your sleep is so important. Your routine is so important. The people you hang out with and what you listen to and what you believe and how you treat yourself are all extremely important. It's about being really self-aware. That's another thing I love about the sport is you have to tune in with yourself constantly, because you're picking up heavy shit in the gym and you can injure yourself if you're not in your body. You do need to stay present, especially when you're in the I call it the trenches of prep. It's every day is going to feel different. your body's going to feel different. Your hormones are different. The hydration, if you're dehydrating, how your brain works. I mean, there's some days I was kind of fearful driving because I was so low on calories and tired, or had a really bad sleep the night before, getting up and peeing from all the protein that you're ingesting and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of things that come with it. Taking your food with you, being prepped, having enough things. You can get stuck out in traffic. Do you have your food with you? Do you have some protein drinks? Can you take care of yourself and keep your program going? Because it's a revolving wheel throughout the whole day of what you have to do next. And that's what I like about it. It's organized. It keeps me thinking. It keeps me on top of my game and makes me tune into my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the point. Is you want to be, as I said again, self-aware at all time. Be cautious. Be also careful, and also use good judgment when you get into sport. And understand that it's not just as easy if you're not consistent, if you're not determined, if you're not persistent or disciplined. You can be easily distracted. Like, again, as a fan of y'all ladies, what I've learned and what I've heard and what I talked to about, like do interviews, ladies who I've met when I finally got out there, I really appreciate when I get the opportunity. And again, I think y'all ladies are beautiful, y'all are. But
you gotta understand that too, George.
You don't need to thank me. But that's the thing people gotta remember. When we see y'all on stage, we don't understand. We need to understand what we're looking at. We look at these beautiful bodies, but not understand the work, the dehydration, the tires, everything you have to go through. And if everybody understand that, I think they'd be maybe more respectful for the sport.
And forgiving.
Yeah. And again, also guys out there, we go to shows when you see someone like Nancy, be respectful. Don't be that guy say, who's that tall chick with the muscles? She said, what? Damn. Yeah. I wanna, I'll be like Austin Power. Say, Nancy, if I told you you have a great body, will you hold it against me? So,
I've heard that one before. The thing is always fun. Absolutely.
Yeah. That thing is, that's why I do this. I want to be fun and informative. Also, want to let people know what really makes people like yourself motivation. Not the motivation, but keeps you disciplined to do this.
So, George, I got a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
I love what you're doing and bringing us onto the platform and sharing with the world what we're doing. What really inspired you to do this?
Well, like I said again, I was taking care of my mom because she was my woman. And then, she was sick and she was going through she had a series of seizures, a stroke. She was sick. And then because I was a fan of y'all ladies, I need something as an outlet.
I got you.
And then when she died, and it's going to be 6 years coming up next year, I had nothing else. I don't have no kids. Everybody else is grown, and I need something to give me motivation. And talking to ladies like you gives me that. It gives me a purpose. I want to be your advocate if I can. I would like to meet you, talk with you. I'm not, like I said this, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm too hot for some, I'm just right for most.
That's okay. You know what? I'm not everybody's cup of tea either, but we find our tribe and we find the people that like the tea or have never had the tea and are now exposed to the tea. And you're bringing an awareness to the stage, which I appreciate. And I love what you're doing. I love the support that we get from our fans and from the public and people who are curious as to why we do what we do. As long as they approach us in a respectful manner, we're willing to, share that with people, and share our life with them.
Well, man, my question was, what would you like to see for bodybuilding change for yourself?
I think more opportunities and shows for us where we can display our work, because it's been, we've been impacted by the show has it, then it doesn't, and then we're kind of volleying around. It'd be nice to have some consistency in what's being available for us and being presented to us so that we can just focus on what we're doing. It would be very helpful to get more people with deeper pockets. Thank God for Jake Woods, because he just literally saved bodybuilding. We need more people like that.
Yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that good. I can't help it with his name. I got to do it. I can't help it.
There's lots of money around. We just have to know where to find it and expose our sport to people who might not know about it that would be interested in it too. So ambassadors for the sport, I think we need some more ambassadors for the sport, such as yourself, talking about this, bringing up ideas, brainstorming on how we can get more venues for us, having caucuses, having seminars for young girls to feed them into the sport like I did at, Gold's Gym in the city, just getting people in the gym. Then the sport can take off if they so desire to go in that direction or just have it for their wellness. But it's been a lifesaver for me. Bodybuilding has been, the cornerstone of my life where I've taken the discipline from it and applied it to other parts of my life. And it's just made such a huge difference. And I want to share that with others.
Well, I think we mostly need people who want to really give this opportunity, reach out. Yes, we do need some deep pockets, but it is a money sport because some of these, people out there who are fans, they don't want to feel like if I like bodybuilding, they think I'm strange, something wrong with me. One thing I would love to do if I could do this, if I had, Jake Wood money, if I had deep pockets where I would like to sponsor athletes. I would like to reach out. But, these guys out there say, hey, Nancy, I seen you got those nice shoulders. You got your tall drinking water. No, you sick freak. Stop it. This is what you're supposed to do. Is say, like, this is a lady. Hello, Mrs. Brigham. We are interested in you. We like your story, your passion, your history in the sport of bodybuilding. We are a company looking to sponsor athletes. So if you're someone who doesn't mind, working with us, and we want to see you grow and develop as an athlete, and your experience, you can help teach other athletes.
Exactly.
We would like to sponsor you in your next upcoming show. So, madam, if you feel like, our product is something you want to work with and it's something you can use in your process, please let us know. We'll be happy to help you.
Absolutely. That's what we need more of.
Yeah, we do. But we know, as we all know, again, it's going to be up. They're going to pay more attention to the teenage divisions, high heels, and yeah.
Instead of
yeah, like I say, here we like get muscles, But but I think there's people out there like, again, my dear friend, my sister Eunice, and other people like Jake, and those who still try to give y'all a fighting chance, y'all ladies. Promoters who like Austin, what he's doing, and with the Adam Wins bodybuilding to the Austin car to the C-Car show. I mean, we got those people out there, but again, we need more people who want to. Who I would say you have to be willing and wanting to participate in this to really want to, get people like yourself or people like Andrea,
right, giving them opportunities.
But also, same time, those athletes got to put themselves out there. Don't be
for us.
Yeah, don't be afraid of what people got to say. That's the thing is, like, quote my favorite comedian, Bernie Mac. Son, people don't like you. Fuck them. Fuck them up the nose. Hey, the cream goes the lips. That's just do what you feel like you do. If there's people out there can, like, if I could do this, I would love to take, say, hey, like Chelsea or someone like Andrea or someone like Ashley, and hey, go to talk to people. Say, hey. These are my clients. I want to be on your show. I mean, talk like Montel used to have women bodybuilders on there, and stuff like that. Get them out there. Let people and people, hey, push back against these people's ignorance. Talking about, hey, you're trying to be manly or
I don't listen to those people. As I've gotten older, I've realized, I just don't give a shit what other people think. This is my life. I'm going to live my life how I choose to live it. And that background noise, I don't listen to it. I never really have, or I wouldn't be who I am and where I'm at right now and doing what I'm doing. So I couldn't agree with you more on that. But just, I think it's the education of the public and things that like what you're doing and what David's doing and talking to the athletes. And, I've really enjoyed watching Caitlin Clark when she was not injured and playing and going to all these different venues and all the young girls that wanted her autograph. And that had her jersey on and the impression that she's made in that sport on those young kids because she's broken that glass ceiling there. And we need something like that to happen in our sport too, where we could just catapult, especially the women's bodybuilding and physique division, where it originally started, especially with the bodybuilding, and just bring it back to the respect that it deserves.
Well, you deserve this, because you know what, ladies, you put a lot of time to sport to work hard, to train, to be consistent, be disciplined. Like body, like Ronnie Coleman says, everybody want to be a bodybuilder. No one lift a heavy ass weight. You know,
Right.
if you're not willing to put in the time in, you shouldn't talk about how somebody else is doing. Like this, shut your mouth, mind your business, move along. You know, if all you think about is like, oh, they take steroids, they take this, take that, then you don't know the half of
They
it.
just don't know the sport. They just don't know what goes into it. They think we just stick a needle in our ass, and that's not it. It is way beyond that. It starts here and here in the heart and the head, and being able to bring the two together to bring the effort forward and do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta be willing to do it. You gotta be. It's something you have to be willing and wanting to do it. If you're not, then you're not gonna go far.
Yeah, this sport.
So yeah, so folks, this has been a great. Maybe in the future we might have her back on again.
I would love to get back and chat with you.
Yeah, whenever you feel like you're ready, let me know. You know, I got nothing to do. I got no place to go. So
I'll keep you up on my plans and stuff and what I'm up to.
all
I'll
right,
be going over Europe probably the end of this year and starting to develop some things over there.
you want to come back and announce when you compete and just talk about the other stuff too? Just let me know. I'm here. I
I
got
would
nothing
love
to do.
to. Yeah, I'll keep you up on my contest prep and things like that. And Patty and I'm going to see Patty next month, and we'll be doing some collaborating along with Janine and Eunice. And yeah, we're working together as a team too to keep this going as well. My tribe and I. But thank you so much for having me on, George. It's been such a pleasure.
To quote from my favorite movie, Batman Begins, at the end of it, where Jim Gordon's talking to Batman. He says, "I didn't have a chance to say thank you." And Batman turns around and says, "You never have to. That's why I do this. This gives me a purpose." But I want to shout out to people that were here. Shout out to our dear friend Eunice Martinez Kitchens, Bad Rap, big and defined, ripped and pump. I like the rip and pump part. And also shout out to my man Money Jabe is sticking here. My nephew Alex, my man KL the Wanderer. Paid will be paid. All you were here commenting, who subscribe to my channel. Again, if you want to follow the love of Miss Brigham, her link is in the description of this live stream. Reach out with genuine interest if you're someone who wants to support these ladies. Don't be that weird guy. You know who I'm talking to, you guys. I say this, guys. You get more with a silk glove than with an iron fist. I know what you're doing, that iron fist. So
I agree with you, George.
Yeah. So again, madam, I say thank you for this time, this opportunity to talk with you. Wish you all the best of luck. Again, whenever you want to come back and shoot the shit, I'm here. I got nothing to do. I got no place to go.
Love to, and we will do it again. And I hope you have a happy holiday.
Me too.
I'm serious. I'm going to keep after you.
All right. I'm gonna say this, I'm a Scorpio, man. We are somewhat
I used to have a partner for 13 years that was a Scorpio. I know all about you.
Where I'm a special Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio Tiger. We're kind of different breeds. Also,
Ooh,
I was born in the year of the Tiger, 74. So we're.
I'm a fire monkey, and I'm a triple fire.
Okay.
I have a Mars moon, a Uranus rising, and a Sagittarius sun.
I'm not all of that. I'm just. but before we let you go, you have anybody you want to shout out before we
Gosh, I make a shout out to my family. Matt Allen, Janine, who's been in my corner. Patty's been my biggest cheerleader. Eunice, my new friend and tribe member. I just love her. We just hit it off. And all the amazing people that I've met this year backstage. My new friends, definitely.
Well, I hope maybe in the future we get to meet each other, because would you be my neighbor, or we can be friends too?
We will meet. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I go all over the place. I'm always somewhere, so we'll find you, George.
It's like, hey, I like. It's like I don't want nobody no money. I'm broke.
Oh no,
I got no baby. But I do appreciate you, man, for taking this time out with me. Again, shout out to my guests that were here. If you want to follow, Nancy, her link in the description is live. Reach out in genuine interest. Support her. Shout out if you see her. Hey, if you're somebody who just really who are a fan of women in bodybuilding, support women like her. People like Eunice. People like the lovely Mrs. Patty Corbett. People like Janine. And people like Winnie Fortino, she's a fellow Scorpio like myself. and all the other ladies in the sport. And no, forget you guys too. But again, I said like this: it may not be the '80s, but I'm down with the ladies. So, oh no, I can't help it. But he has to say something.
Okay.
Before I let you go, Nancy, I want to tell you again, you
Oh.
are beautiful.
Who are you?
I'm so sorry about him, but he can please me. So,
I like him. I like
yeah.
him.
All right.
Thank you,
So,
George.
folks, again, I'd like to thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate your support. Reach out with genuine interest and support people like Nancy Brigham. And also shout out to all the competitors out there. And also wish y'all a very happy upcoming Thanksgiving. Oh, what we long for is Christmas. And Christmas time for the kids. I ain't buying nobody shit. Anyways, this is your mail with Judge Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good night, good luck, and God bless.
Thank you, George.
You're welcome.